Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, our today's lesson is about the general characteristics of the members of the phylum Porifera. After having a general information about the classification of the kingdom Animalia, we will read about the details of all the phyla one by one. So the first phylum, which is the phylum Porifera, is the only example of the parazoans because their body is showing no tissues and the organ system. Their body is asymmetrical or is showing the radial symmetry. They have three types of cells, which are known as the pinacocytes, mesenchyme cells or the amoebocytes, and the choanocytes. Their central cavity or the several branching chambers through which the water flows for the filter feeding. So these are some general characteristics of the phylum Porifera. The word porifera is derived from the Latin word which is called the porus, which means the minute holes or the tiny openings, and the fera means to bear. Hence the animal of this phylum bear the small holes or the pores all over the body. These pores are called the ostia. Their bodies are made up of the small groups of the cells which we talked about some moments earlier. So now we will see the details of these characteristics according to the figure. So students, here you can watch the general body system for the members of the phylum Porifera. So their body is tubular and they have just one opening at its interior end, which is called the osculum. So students, here you can watch the interior opening of the body. This is the osculum, and the pores on the body, these are called the ostia. Plus they have this single body cavity. This whole body cavity is called the sponge cells, and their body is made up of the outer layer, which is called the pinacoderm, which is made up of the cells which are called the pinacocytes, while the inner layer is made up of the layer which is called the choanoderm, and these are made up of the flagellated cells which are also known as the collar cells and may be called the choanocytes. So beside the pinacoderm and the choanoderm, their bodies also have another middle layer which is called the mesohill, and is made up of another type of cells which are called the amoebocytes. Now we will see their function one by one. So first of all, we will see that what is the function of the pinacocytes. These cells are the skin cells of the sponge. These line the exterior of the body wall. They are thin, leathery, and tight packed together. May be slightly contractile, help in the sponge to change the shape. Some pinacocytes specialized into the porocytes, which regulate the water circulation. Now we will talk about the middle layer, which is jelly-like layer under the pinacocytes, is termed as the mesohill. The mesenchyma cells are amoeboid and move about in the mesohill, specialized for the reproduction, transporting and storing of the food, secreting skeletal elements which are called the spicules. Now the third layer, which is beneath the mesenchyme, lining inner chambers, are called the choanocytes or the collar cells. Flagellated cells with ring of the microvilli surrounding the flagella. Microfilaments connect the microvilli, forming a net that helps filter edible particles. So this is the function of all these three layers. If we talk about the digestive system of the phylum Porifera, so the ostia are the part of the canal in which the water circulates and brings the food to the body. So here in this figure, you're watching the ostia in the body. This food is digested either inside the body, which is called the intracellular digestion, as well as in the sponge cell, which is known as the extracellular digestion. So the ostia which are bringing the water inside the sponge cell, this is actually helping in the food capturing method for the organisms. So the sponges are the sessile and they do not contain any locomotory organs. Their dispersal takes place during the asexual reproduction, either by the budding or the gemmules formation, or by the sexual reproduction through the formation of the eggs and the sperms. and these exosperms are formed by the amoebocyte cells, which are specialized for the reproduction, as we talked about earlier. And this is all about the members of the phylum Porifera. Now we will see some specialized economical importance of the phylum Porifera. So economically, the sponges are very important, as they are used as an artificial sponge. After the artificial sponge, they are used as a natural sponges and used for the bathing purposes. Even after the production of the availability of the artificial sponge, still the natural sponges have their demand in the market, and due to their special absorption capacity, they are used in the surgical operations. And there's some important, now you will see some important examples of the sponge as well. So here, students, in yellow color, you are watching an example of the phylum Porifera, which is the cycon, and on the right hand, you are watching the spongilla in green color. This is another example of the sponges. And finally, in the last, you are watching the Eucalyptilla. This is have the very beautiful glassy appearance. This is also an important member of the phylum Porifera. So students, this is all about the phylum Porifera. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.